So on Trade Digital's page, exactly at 11 o'clock Eastern time, I said Eastern kind of got tongue twisted. But welcome y'all. This is Trade Digital channels, my channel where I talk about everything technology, talk about business, passive income, all that good stuff. But it's mostly technology. And I wanted to start it at 11:11. I mean, not 11:11, but I wanted to start at 11 o'clock for a reason. Because today it's November 11th. At the 11th, well, November 11th is the 11th month of the year. It's on the 11th day of November, and it's 2022. So I wanted to do it there. I'm big on the numbers. I'm super big on the numbers. You know me. All right, so today's episode, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of technology, because technology is pretty much we're we're so into technology right now. It's like we are technology at this point. We can't go anywhere without our devices. We can't go anywhere without this. Now you see young kids, they're not even working anymore. They're streaming now. Because back when I was like in high school, I couldn't wait. Like when I was in high school, when I was 17 years old, I was begging my brother, like, yo, please hook me up with Burger King, man. I was begging to have a job, because that was my only way I can, provide for myself and buy like, clothes and sneakers and all that stuff and be able to like, to be lit and all that. But now the kids, it's like other avenues that you can make money because of technology. Technology has been a service that is so convenient, and the scaling factor for you to monetize your content is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And these kids, they're really, really spending their whole time to just dedicate themselves into streaming and doing all these plays, even OnlyFans, and some of the women OnlyFans, they're not doing the nasty stuff that y'all creepy people want to see. They actually, they probably just doing regular stuff, and they making money, and that's why they like forget school. This generation is going to be a lot different. So because of technology is a huge, huge opportunity for them to be able to scale quick, to make money in a faster rate than my generation and the generation before me ever made, and everything is accessible for them. So let's just talk about the good of technology. So the good of technology is things just a lot faster. So you understand quantum physics, even though things go fast, like the year go faster, technology makes everything faster, everything more convenient for you, and it also solves problems. Like if you understand data analytics, and data analytics is sports, for example, that they're solving problems, improving the game. Like in the movie Moneyball, and that was based on a true story with the Oakland A's. Yeah, it was the Oakland A's, and the GM he hired a guy that was big on the analytics, and they used analytics to be able to sign certain people for the cheap. So they got rid of the highest paid players, and they got certain players that nobody wanted, and they looked based on the analytics of their skill set, and they put them in the right position. Like for example, that they batting average is good when they hit it on the left side, when the pitcher is pitching, if he do curveball, he's better at this inning. He don't get tired as much. Or on the right field, he's better on the right field because based off of analytics, like his numbers improves. His numbers improve when he's the catcher on a right field, or this pitcher, his strikeout ratio is better when he's pitching the first four innings, or so and so, that, or when the batting average is better when he's pitching. I mean, when he's batting, he's the second person batting. So based off of those percentages, they can be able to not even improve it again. They could improve their team. And they did that. They went 19 straight. They went to the playoffs. And they was a team that nobody didn't expect they was going to do anything because they got rid of so many players and they was able to help the salary cap. So data analytics is super helpful because it helps solve problems. It can also help solve problems like real life problems. Also help problems for your company. You know, your company may be good. When you look at the graphs and they be like, well, we increase our sales when we do this. So now let's just do that and see what happens. And usually the predictions come true. You know, these are some of the things I'm gonna probably end up coding in the future, and that's be able to analyze data and you could kind of manipulate it. So you could run certain predictions, and then you can see, okay, now and then the person that's control the business, he could say, all right, we're gonna do it this way because we can help improve our business and we can scale it. And it's like that with Facebook ads. Facebook ads, for example, all data analytics. You're gonna see the data as far as, okay, this demographics data, you know, they are the women, they love seeing my videos at this time. So I'm gonna run ads just for them. Or the men, they love seeing my videos at 9 o'clock at night. So I'm gonna push it for them. Or this country, the UK is better than America when it comes to my videos. So I'm gonna push more in the UK. And if you look at one of the top streamers in the world, I guess, is ISO Speed. This young dude, he streams at the time that the UK is watching his videos. That's why he's so big over there. He's so big in the world, and that's a genius move because he's focusing on his audience. And people here, they see his videos because they do reaction videos of him all the time. But that's why he streams at certain times. Like usually people stream about the same time I'm streaming, but he streams at the UK time, so they can be able to see his videos. And he's killing it. He's killing out there. He's the best streamer. So that's analyzing data. And also they use this in the hospital as well. They use data analytics for the hospital to help patients. Like, all right, for their diet, for example, they said, all right, if you cut down on this percentage of food or these food portions at this time, you can be able to feel better at this time. Just analyzing data. They taking notes, analyzing all your data, and they could be able to make real life decisions on that based on the technology. And they also have the data analytics when you, like, on your phone as well. You can be able to look at your phone and you can be able to see how many times you're on your phone, how long you're on the phone, what are hours that you're on the phone. You could be able to, like, all right, I gotta slow down at that part when I'm scrolling a lot. It's distracting me. So technology, when it comes to data analytics, is super helpful because it's solving problems. Technology as far as cars improving, now we going to electric cars now, and that's going to be extremely helpful because gas prices is insane. So technology getting better at that aspect to the point that they're going to start making it on these EV cars and EV buses that we already see, and it's going to be help saving money with gas as well, because gas is insane. And also the environment, since we're going green, is going to be able to improve the environment, because we don't need all this waste going up in the atmosphere. It's making us sick. That's why the city, so many people that usually get sick a lot in the city, because it's just surrounded by buildings already, and everybody is driving and all that, all that smoke of the engine and stuff like that is, it's not good for us. So going green as far as the technology is very helpful. As far as you can do businesses is like technology. That's like the best thing in businesses. The best thing when it comes to businesses is technology, because you can be able to do business on your phone. You could be on the move. You don't necessarily have to be at an office. You can do it remotely. So the best thing that could have happened during the pandemic is people could be able to work at home. And that could give them time to be with their family, which is important. Because we spend too much time working, especially if you have kids. You're not even be able to spend time with your kids. So it's making it more convenient for you to be able to be with your kids, your loved ones, and and that's the important thing. That's the important thing. So it has a convenience, and that's one of the things that technology is getting extremely better. You'll be able to scale more. You'll be able to make money. The conveniency, the solving problems in the world. That's why these like guys like Elon Musk, he's constantly finding solutions for us. So I don't even know why the president don't want to do business with him, because man, he's solving problems. He's solving problems. So those are the good things with technology. The data analytics side, you can be able to analyze data to solve real life problems for businesses. What I just said, hospital, as far as your health, because your health is important. So, because if you're running or you're exercising, you can be able to look at the data, what you're doing. Like when you're running and you see how many miles you did, and you want to be able to beat that. Or you can also look at the data on your phone to see, okay, around this time, this is where I slow down, and I can be able to help you to beat that. Data analytics is super duper big in industries like this, and it's super duper helpful because it's constantly solving problems. I already mentioned in sports, basketball, another data analytics terms with basketball, another data analytics term with basketball, that a percentage, like you can help a player become an even more better player, because you can tell him, like, wait a minute, if you're an analytics guy, you could be like, all right, I looked at the data, your percentage is higher when you're shooting it from the side of the court. So make more threes on the side of the court, your percentage will go higher, instead of you making it at the top of the key, because you're taking too many shots on top of the key. That's why that's why your points is going down, and your percentages is not as good as the corner. And also you need to take more shots inside, because you're more efficient that way. And that's going to help somebody get paid. For somebody, you can call them a geek or you want, he's going to get you paid, because the simple fact that he's analyzing the statistics, and he's looking at the percentages of the data that he's doing with pandas. You can look at my videos. I did that already with pandas data frame. You get to analyze and dictate data, and he's able to, the person that's in the analytics department, to look at the statistics, create a problem, and create a prediction. And he'll create a prediction, said you was averaging 17.5 a game. If you stop shooting in the key and you shoot it on the sideline, because your percentages is at 39% from when you shot more shots on the top of the key, and your percentage is at 32%. And if you shoot more inside with your percentages, you take less shots, but your percentages is at 54%, you'll go for 17.5 points a game to 24.5. So your numbers would drop, your numbers would jump dramatically. So that's one of the good things about technology, is the fact that we can analyze statistics and make a player better, that we couldn't do that back in the day with the with the advanced technology, because analytics wasn't really a part of the game as much. It's really more influential now. So you can solve problems, you get people paid in NBA. So you can get a job for being in the analytics department, and a person that you making money for, they can do it. All right, now we got to talk about the bad. So the bad part about technology is the point that it distracts us for so many different things. It's a constant distractions, because it's so accessible to us. It's so accessible to us, to the fact that we not being productive anymore, like with the tangibles and the physical things in the world. We're not being productive, and some people's not even being active as far as exercising, even though people's out there exercising. But it's easier to be like, I'm gonna take a day off, because you're at home working. When you're on your break, you're on your phone being distracted again, and you just at home. You at home more. You're not productive. So it's making technology, the bad part is making us lazy, because we're not doing the physical things that made us like have an imagination. Because I know when I was growing up, when we didn't have cell phones, we was able to remember numbers. Like, you remember, you was able to remember a number. Like, you'll call, like, your mom's number by heart, your friend's number by heart, all the kids number by heart. You know it by heart. But now we don't know any numbers by heart because we could just go on the phone to hit the contact. So it's messing our memory up as well, and it's messing up our imaginations. We can't really. It's like our attention span is quick. We get bored easy. Back in the day, we'll be just fun, just playing in the dirt, trying to pull a worm out, or we'll just analyze a slug. You remember the slugs that was on the porch? We used to do that as well. Stuff like that. Use your imagination. Or we used to, the cards. You remember we used to use the playing cards to be used to making into houses. That's imagination. That's what we was doing. Now you can't even imagine that happen with these kids. Now they can't even. They be like, get this out of here. Where's my tablet at? Where's my phone at? You better get this out of here. I'm not trying to do this. This is boring. So technology, it destroyed our imagination. It destroyed it. Their social life right now is the phones, the video games, and all of that. And the uglies gonna get worse though. This is just the bad, because this episode is called "The Good, the Bad, the Ugly of Technology." This is just the bad. I didn't get to the ugly. The ugly is way worse. Way worse. So it's making us lazy. It's killing our imagination as well. It's also making it's also killing our social skills. Like we don't know how to talk to people as well, because we rely so much being online and on our phones and stuff like that, to the point that it makes us socially awkward. And that's how the incels is created. They only comfortable when they on the phone. Catfish is like that joint was crazy. That joint was getting out of hand when MySpace was there and whatever, and it just went rapid. It's easy to be something that you're not. So people could really. So it's not really helpful as far as technology is not really helpful as far as somebody being themselves, because everybody that's constantly on there, like trying to get likes or whatever they're trying to get, they're not really being themselves. Because if you see them in person, you can be like, damn, it's a totally different person than who they portray themselves to be online. So that's the bad thing about technology. We have some serious issues with that as far as our development. Now I'm gonna talk about the ugly. Now the ugly is the dark part of technology, and that's all I wanted to say there. The dark part of technology, when I was talking about data analytics and how data can be able to solve real life problems, it can be able to be helpful as far as helping people in sports, helping people with their health, and also helping like the average things that's extremely helpful to get to make the world quicker, make everything a lot faster, so we can make sure we get things done. And at home you're working at home, so you can spend more time with your family. The ugly is these companies is taking advantage of your data. And that's why, because I know this has happened to me. I know it happened to a lot of people. This happened to me. They know what we thinking before it actually pop up in our head. They know exactly what we thinking. And I have a perfect example. I was in a store in Walgreens, and I was in my head, I was like, I'm about to get I might get some sparkling water, but I ain't say anything. I didn't say anything. I said, I'm about to get some sparkling water. But I said, nah. And then I just picked up a Polar Spring. Before I walked in that line, I was just on my once I went on the line, I was on my phone, and I was just scrolling, looking at Instagram, and what popped up? The sparkling water. The same sparkling water I pick up. And a reason for that is they've been studying us for probably like 15, as long as MySpace and AIM or Magenta, as long as those places been online, they've been studying us. All those times that we use online, it's just gathering information, our backend data. They got every data we have. Like I could show command prompts that they'll probably shut me down, but it's command prompts of all your data, everything you did on the computer. They can find that. And what they do, they have that run into an algorithm. So all that data, because you can manipulate data in so many different ways to be able to gather a prediction. And that's what they do. They gather your information, they put it in an algorithm. So your data is being constantly trained. So once it's trained, it comes up with a prediction. And then that prediction, based off of your data, it says he wanted that drink. But but if he don't get that drink, I could persuade him to buy it based off an ad, because he'll see on his phone, because he usually be on his phone around this time, just scrolling. So they know what we about to do it. They know what we thinking. It's not necessary. Of course, if we say something on our phone, an ad will pop up or whatever. We already know about, the mics in our phone, whatever. Because once you accept these apps, they already turn your mic on, and your photos that you already allow them, because everybody got apps on their phone. Everybody download apps on their phone. So we're allowing that to happen. We participate in that because we want to download the app. So it's like they before you download, they say, can we look at you? Can we be allowed to look at your photos? Can we be allowed to look at your contacts? Can we be allowed to look at this and that? And then we just say, okay, we just want to get the app and and get where we gotta go. And then once we do that, we already gave them permission to do all the stuff with our data. So they own our data. They get to look, they get to analyze, they get to train the data and come up with predictions, and it boosts ads. And I want to take a quick moment of silence because it's 11:22, and today is 11/11/22. Just want to take a quick minute for a silence. Shout out to Mozzie. What's good, brother? I gotta take a moment of silence. I gotta put 11/11/22. 11/11/22. Because it's 11/22 on the 11th at the 11th month. I'm big on numbers. I love it. So we're gonna just, do they know what we thinking, or are they using techniques to make us think what they want us to think, or a little bit of both? I'm gonna say it in a second. Good question. Good question. All right, so it's 11:23. All right, so Mozzie, with that answer, is definitely a little bit of both, because it's, at the end of the day, it's still a prediction. It's still a prediction, but they also use a tool called remote viewing. So remote viewing is also trying to predict what we about to do before we do it. So without the data, it's just constant social engineering based off of what they see us like. For example, will we be putting like on, what are we thinking when we go on Facebook and we put what are we thinking, and we be ranting about something. So they would just look at all that, they'll just study that, and then they'll come up with an observation. So it's a little bit of remote viewing. And I think the military be using that with, when it comes to their enemies. They study their enemies, they spy on them, and they see what they do, and they say, okay, they're gonna be here, so we're gonna make sure we beat them to the punch so we can take our enemies. So they do a little bit of both. So they study the things that we put ourselves, and then they use the techniques as far as our data, because they got all our data, they got all our information. So our smartphones is a lot smarter than us. That's the dark thing about it, because it's gonna destroy us, because what it's gonna do is it's gonna push humans out the way. It's gonna put, because you see now, the generation that's coming up now, and probably mix up with our generations, we're leaning towards not wanting to have kids. It's a lot of us, because it's a lot of reasons, some people just, they rather just be single. They want to travel, or it's the money issues because of inflation, or it's just, people just like, I'm just too awkward. So they got that opponent. So they like, okay, we got that down pat. Now let's just distract them with all these different things. And they see our weaknesses. So they're gonna use our weaknesses, and they're gonna use it against us. So the stuff that, the stuff that is kind of harmful that we see on the internet, they're gonna just use that algorithm, and they're gonna keep feeding us ads to persuade us. It's like kind of like when you're in school, somebody's telling you, yo, smoke this, and you be like, nah. And then they just constantly like peer pressuring you to do it, and you like, and you constantly seeing it, and you like, oh, I don't want to be a punk, but they just constantly saying it, and then you end up doing it. So so that's how these ads is gonna be. And as far as our phones, and as far as the smartphone and internet and technology and all that, they're trying to make another you with your consciousness. So you see how we here in the physical world, our phones is gonna be in this world. So our phones have better memory than we do. That's a humongous problem. And they did that on purpose, because they're trying to push us to the side, because the technology is also going to be helpful in the labor force, because their margins, which pretty much will be 100%, because they won't have to hire anybody, because it's going to be the technologies and the artificial intelligence that's going to be able to take over these industries. They don't need anybody anymore. So they're trying to push humans out, and then they're trying to bring in the synthetics, you want to call it robots or whatever. They're trying to bring synthetics because your consciousness is in this phone. Because the data is your consciousness. So your data, this is you. So you see me here, this is also me here. It's my device. So if they got two people can't be living the same reality. So what they're gonna do is they said, we can kill this form. We can kill the physical form of this person, and then we can have him or use his consciousness for somebody else, and whatever. Somebody else probably rich, we can use his consciousness, and we can use it for gene editing, because they also be doing gene editing. Rich people that have money, and they got some devices with stem cells to be able for people to live longer. So, but like I said, you're not really useful. That's why the thing that you post on Instagram, it was something that's unique, and it's crazy the fact that they got a virtual reality game that you put on, and if you die in the game, you gonna die in real life. That's is where we're heading at. We're heading towards that, because you see kids right now, they're dating on the internet. So it's no physical connection. There's something called the e-date. So e-date, these streamers, it'll be these models come, and then they just talking. They just having a date. What kind of mess is that? That's where we're heading. And then people just so caught up in this reality. And this reality is not real. This reality is not real, and whatever. But they so comfortable in this reality because it makes them feel good, and they could get away with a lot of stuff, that they'll be so comfortable. That's why when it comes to like a death, if it comes to a death in the game and stuff like that and whatever, they get killed in real life. They don't even care, because they don't really care about their life in the real world, because they said the real world is too tough. And the real world is tough. Living in the real world ain't easy. But why would you want something that is easy? Don't you want to see your progress and your development? People don't really care about that. And you see in GTA game, I gotta see if I can find that. They had a funeral of Takeoff. Well, Takeoff, his funeral was today, but they had another funeral for Takeoff, and another funeral for Takeoff in GTA. Like everybody on GTA, they had to wear white, and they had an actual funeral on him. And it's like, yo, this is insane. Like, it's in a video game that they had an actual funeral. Like, crazy. So it's repercussions when it comes to the ugly of technology and the dark part of technology is the point that they're gonna push humans to the side and they're gonna bring in artificial intelligence. So the top 1%, it could just be them. Cause they gotta get rid of the middle class and the people in poverty, and they want to make it only one class. You even got it or you don't. They have to have a way of doing that. So I think this is the death blow of technology and whatever. The real ugly part that they know what we thinking, they know what we doing, because we tell them we participate in it, and they also gathering our data, running these predictions, feeding us ads, so we could constantly be a part of the system, because we have our devices with us. This is like our suitcase. This is everything. So that's the ugly thing about it. And I want to talk about solutions that can help, but I'm losing hope for that part. So I got two solutions. The first solution is, I know this ain't gonna happen, is people not engaged in technology. Impossible. That's not even happening. The second one is blockchain. Blockchain will save all this. By far, blockchain will save all this. Because blockchain, you'll be able to be control of your own data. Because blockchain, your data is on your digital ledger. So you can actually pull up all your data of everything you've seen on that site. So the company, they don't own that data, because the company, they take the back end off your data, and then they just run the algorithm on that. They just run the algorithm, and then they make predictions based off the things that you was seeing. Your bank statements, they look at all of that. The things that you bought, they look at all of that. So that's why they could run certain things on you. But when you with blockchain, you control your data. That's the number one thing. You control your data. It's a decentralized technology that's run on blocks. So you can be able to control your data, number one. Number two, the transactions is a lot faster. You don't have to go through no bank, because the banks, it control your ledger. So we have so many different threats about banks close your money, or Kanye West, for example. JP Morgan Chase shut his bank down. Well, they shut his account down. They said you can't bank with us anymore. If his money was on the blockchain, he wouldn't have to worry about them doing that. So blockchain can help you be in control of your own money, so you can be able to control your narrative. Because if his money, like 19 Keys said it, if he has money in his blockchain wallet and whatever, he constantly had his billions there, there's nothing they can do. They can't take that money. And he could send his money quickly to it. And also it will help artists too, because artists is constantly getting ripped. Look at the baby. The baby only sold what, 9,000 album sales in a week, one of the worst numbers ever. If he put it on, and so that 9,000, he's really not making a penny, because he gotta give it to the record labels and producers and all of that and whatever. So he ain't making nothing out of that 9,000 record sales he had. So album sales is going down anyway, because of streaming service. And streaming service, they take how much money? They take 12% for your streaming service. It goes to the record labels. If he had his money, if he did what Tory Lanez did, say, you know what, my album's gonna be on the NFT. So so it could go straight to consumer. You can have your album on an NFT. You could put your album on a smart contract on a blockchain. That's pretty much what it is. A smart contract is a contract on a blockchain in code. That's all it is. So you can put his album on that, and it goes straight to consumers. So those 9,000 that boy's album, that's his money. And the 9,000 is going to be in crypto. So it's a deflationary currency instead of an inflation currency. The dollar is inflation, so it loses value. Like your dollar was, you can be able to get, when we was in school, The dollar, you could be able to get a juice, candy, chips, and a coffee cake, and maybe something else, because the candies is like 10 cents. So your buying power was crazy with that $1. Now you use that $1, you can barely get a candy bar. You might have to cut that candy bar in half with that $1. So that dollar decreased over the last 20 years. That dollar decreased with criminal currency, and it goes up and down. But when that joint go up, you up. So his 9,000 and whatever Ethereum, whatever he wanted to be in, is most likely going to be in Ethereum, because if he's going to use a smart contract, that's going to be an Ethereum network. His joint going to be going up. So it's a deflationary currency. The reason why it's deflationary, it's a deflationary currency because it's limited. It's a limited supply of it. So that means it's more valuable because it's going to constantly go up. So that's what it is. The buying power is a lot more. So you can be able to invest while people's buying your music on there. So it's going to be worth more, because it's like an auction. Dollar's not worth, the buying power of the dollar is horrible, and it's only going to get worse. So that's one of the things that could be able to be extremely helpful. And it could also, people don't understand this, but blockchain could also help you save energy as well. People say, well, it takes a lot of energy. All right, I won't have to pay my electric bill with blockchain, because the energy will be I'll put my electric bill, I'll put like the electric in a mining pool. So it'll be able to mine your electric, and you don't have to pay for it. So you put your electric on the mining, because when you use your mining, for example, it's your phone, right? So you got all your stuff on a blockchain. You can put your electric on your phone. So while your phone is on, your electric bill is paid for, because it's in that mining pool. So your electric be free, and that's what the people in China do. They don't pay for electric because it's on a blockchain, because you use your phone constantly. So it's like we use our phone and we still have a high electric bill. Imagine we don't have to pay our electric bill because we always on our phone. If our phone's constantly on and whatever, which is our phone is considered nodes on a blockchain. Since we're using our phone, our electric bill is up. I mean, our electric bill is paid for. So you don't have to pay for your electric bill using that. They don't want that. Also, insurance. Blockchain would destroy the insurance industry for good, because they got something called crowd insurance. Crowd insurance, if we have insurance we put on the blockchain is a community of nodes. So I have my own block, you have your own block. So based on that, the percentages and the fees for our transactions, it goes into a crowd insurance. So insurance is already taken care of and paid for already. And the insurance and our insurance goes straight to the hospital that also have their hospitals on blockchain. All our stuff goes to them. So our records, they know we get sick, they know our conditions, and the money goes straight to them and whatever. It don't go straight to no insurance company. That's always the middleman for us, and they cause us not to get our money, or they always slowing the process down. So it will help that. They don't want that. They don't want that at all, because it will murder the insurance companies with crowd insurance that we all could base off of our fees, whether it's Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever, based on the blockchain fees or the mining fees for whether you're using a DPoS or you're using proof of work. These is different algorithms that's used on the blockchain. The fees is going to take care of the crowd insurance. So that's one of the things that's going to be able to destroy the industry. And I already talked about transactions. You have to wait 3-4 days. That is super duper annoying. I gotta wait 3 days to get my money. 3 days. With a blockchain, I got it like that. I get it going. Blockchain could change the food industry. The food industry, we don't know where the hell our food came from. That's a problem. We don't know where the hell our food came from. Some foods be looking brown and all that. Blockchain is 100% transparency. When you all you got to do is put a QR code on the food. I scan it. I know exactly where it came from, what time it came from. Super important. Super important. And then I can leave the store. I don't have to whistle that. It's gonna destroy people working. That's probably gonna be the only thing. It's gonna you won't necessarily it won't be no cashiers anybody or whatever. It only will be the people that's loading up the supplies of the food. There won't be no cashiers, but cashiers been dying anyways. It's that's just gonna be it. Cashiers gonna be no more anyway. But we'll be able to know where our food came from so they can't pull fast ones. So that's going to help because so many people getting sick for GMO foods and foods coming from all these weird different places. No more with that because it will have the timestamp of your food. It will have where it arrived. It have so much information with that. So blockchain will be able to save so many different things. And I already mentioned our data. We're going to be in control of that so they can no longer bully us and they can no longer sell us and use us as pawns. So that's why I said that's the solution with that. I think blockchain would be able to be the solution to control, to slow down the process with everything. So like, because I feel like the ugly and the biggest problem, we got some bad problems. We will have to work on ourselves with, the constantly, being on the phone and not really being active. That's something we have to work on with ourselves and whatever. That's why I call it the bad, because that's something that we would probably have to work on personally. That would the technology would do. But the ugly is they controlling our data. And they controlling and they're using it against us, and they trying to make humans extinct. And they the only ones that's surviving. The ones that's rich, they the only ones surviving, but the poor people they're gonna be taken advantage of. And that's with them being able to socially engineer the system for us to be able to study us. They study us for so long, they got all our information to the point that our smartphones is smarter than us. Their memory is insane. We have to rely on them. They say, well, if you got to rely on they showing the synthetic, why you here? So that's one of the things that's ugly, that they're controlling that. And they got lower the population somehow, because they feel like we're useless eaters and stuff like that. So that's one of the things. So I would say that's the ugly part, but the solution is blockchain. Blockchain would slow that process down, because I feel like that's the main problem. They should give us privacy. We should have privacy unless we give consent, even though we giving consent when we be downloading this app. And that's some bull crap too, because why I'm giving you consent, why these companies is giving you an option to look at your stuff, what they need your stuff for, because you already filled the information out to apply to get that app. You already put your name, your address, and everything. Why do like what's the point of you saying, can I be allowed to look at, can you give me consent to look at your pictures and stuff like that? So that's the thing that's just completely out of pocket. That at that point they just using us as pawns now. So but with blockchain it would change all that. But the reason why I'm losing hope, because there's people out there bashing crypto, and crypto is a humongous part of blockchain, because that's the payments. And we need the blockchain needs that, or blockchain doesn't exist really. They need the payment source, the currency. So that's the thing, that's gonna be the issue. And I think that would help. So we gotta see what's gonna happen. You gotta see what's gonna happen with that. And I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a video of how data analytics work, how we can be able to make predictions. That's gonna be the next video. I'm gonna be coding that, how we can make predictions of certain things. Like the stock market is big on data analytics. You could be able to predict what the price point going to be. I was doing that with the stock market, but I was using basic training data. It was very, very basic. If I use more complicated algorithms, I could be able to get a more accurate price point, because it's going to be able to train bigger data, because you train the more data you train, the better your prediction be, and your higher your prediction would be if you train more bigger data. And that's why they know exactly what I'm thinking right now. Like it's be crazy. That's one of the homeworks for all of y'all. Just have a thought. Just go to a store and just think what you're gonna buy, and I bet you that drink go pop up. Bet you it's gonna pop up. So I'm gonna end this. Now. I wanted to stop at 11:22. I wanted to stop at that. I gotta do a video on numerology too. That's very, very key. Numerology, big on numbers and stuff like that, how that works. But I'm gonna stop it here. Yeah, please follow Trade Digital 89, like and subscribe. Get this to trend. Work on these tools. Shout out to Mozzie. Thanks for listening to the YouTube. My birthday my birthday is really at 1:00, but it's really at 1:00. So, but yeah, I'm gonna make sure I have a good birthday too. Turn 33, big deal. But yeah, I'm gonna end this. Shout out to y'all. Please like and subscribe. Trade Digital 89. Also follow on the dot line 18. Follow Trade Digital 89 on Instagram and TikTok. That's also my Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So you can follow that, make it trend. Also Trade Digital 89 on Twitch, because I'm trying to also do games on Twitch as well. And also help people to code on Twitch. I'm gonna be doing all that on Twitch, but I need subscribers. I need everybody on Twitch. So everybody, the 32 people that subscribe to me, that's my subscribers. Please subscribe to me on Twitch, because I need to be up there. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Trade Digital. My name is Deshaun Lyons. Peace out.